Hello, and welcome to Cyberpunk is Dead. We probably should come up with a name for this at some point, but at the moment it's just Cyberpunk is Dead. This is an actual play of, Cyberpunk is Dead, which is a very cynical view of the cyberpunk genre. It uses Forged in the Dark rules, and yeah, I made it, so I'm a bit biased in thinking that it's great. But yeah, let's go through who we are. I'm Petri. I'm from southern Finland, and uh, I like role-playing games and cyberpunk and stuff. And yeah, I'll be the corporate today, so I'll be the GM. And let's go in an alphabetical order. So Andu.
Yeah, I'm Andu, Andreas, real name. I'm also one of those Southern Finland role-playing enthusiasts. And yeah, I don't think it's redundant to say that I'm also interested in cyberpunk and similar things.
Yeah, Annina.
Hi, I'm Annina Kaski. I'm also Finnish, but I'm currently in London. I am an actor, writer, and tabletop player, as well as this show. I also am a cast member on Bardic Quest, a D&D 5e actual play, podcast, and show. You can find that on good old YouTube. And I also have my own YouTube channel where I post short film sketches and other creative projects. So
Yep.
check those out.
We'll put a link down below wherever you're watching this. And Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. Just to round out the hat trick here, I'm also from southern Finland and I enjoy role-playing games. I write for a company called Iron Spine Press, and I occasionally do some stuff on YouTube related to role-playing games and tips and tricks and reviews, that kind of thing, both in Finnish and in English.
Wonderful. So, without further ado, let's get to an actual mission. Well, post-mission feelings. We have two people walking out of a corporate building in. Well, it's getting a bit late. It's not dark, but the midday sun has gone down and it's reflecting from the sides of Dawn City's tall walls. The two people are wearing corporate uniforms, very. They look like every other corporate worker. There is dark suits, very nondescript details, a corporate logo of Murha Corporation on the lapel, and they're not really discussing anything. There is a slight wariness maybe to them. They walk down to the public transportation system and quickly lose each other because each line there takes people to a different location, and these two aren't moving to the same place. 20. You cram into one of the many tubes that connect the city, and it's filled with people. People are leaving the day shift at the moment, so it feels like you're a sardine in a can. Someone is playing music way too loudly. It is half decent and half sampled from something else, and because of that, your wire is censoring about 25% of the song because it's played without copyright. So you're hearing these dissonant noises everywhere. The tube gets hot. The air conditioning is working, but it's probably working overtime because there's too many people here. And when you finally squeeze out at your stop. It takes something like 15 minutes to get from the other side of the city to here. So you feel a sense of like pressure releasing when you walk into the station at your end. What's the color around here? This is one of the lower levels of the city, so it's not built to support the facade. It's left pretty much untreated. What's the walls like here?
I'd say there's a lot of color in the sense that, for instance, the building I'm heading towards is a bright yellow. It's this kind of thing where people try to inject a bit of sunshine and color into a drab landscape, and it's kind of this slightly chipped paint, hasn't been touched up in quite a while, but it's this kind of, when you see really nice graffiti on some kind of electric transformer or something, that kind of spruces up the place, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you walk to the brightly yellow building and head to your home. It's not big. It's not in the upper echelons of the city, but it's a home. Orange cat greets you when you open the door and demands food.
Okay, Jonesy, here we go. And I sort of wave my hand in front of an automated feeder system, and it bleeps and shoots out a few pellets into a dish.
Yeah, the cat completely ignores you like cats do once they get food, and you are free to enjoy your evening. And what do you look like now that you are peeling away the corporate sort of uniform and regulation gear that you're wearing? What sort of a person is Nova 20?
So Nova 20, as his codename is, first off takes off his glasses that he always wears in the field, both to kind of hide his identity, but and also shield him from sort of the outside world encroaching on his personal life. And he takes off his gear, and you see sort of this facade of being a tough guy melting away. And as soon as he has fed his cat, there's a slight tremble in his hand as he operates the device, and he just completely shifts in terms of his demeanor, his posture, just kind of like relaxes a little bit and is less rigid, less sort of upright and straight.
Yeah, in like physical terms, what do you look like?
In physical terms, I look like sort of a late 20s male, masculine-looking fellow, dark hair, sort of close cropped, very dark eyebrows, sort of a bit of a Daniel Radcliffe thing going on, yeah, I'd say sort of a handsome fellow, but not sort of movie star. That's why he hasn't been picked up by a film studio. Not a movie star, but sort of a, regardless, handsome fellow.
Yeah, you crash after the mission. On a few sectors forward, first of all, I should probably talk about Dawn City, because Dawn City is a marvel, or it should be a marvel. It's a line that goes straight through like a very, very long distance. Two mirror glazed walls on either side provide light, energy, and everything like that to the city. All that a person needs to be about a walking distance away from where they are at any moment, and a very high powered public transportation system takes people from one end of the city to the other. And the area Nova 20 exited the tube was not that fancy. It wasn't down the line, so to say. It was further up, and it is not one of the fancy areas. But where Requiem 13 is exiting is actually one of the corporate areas, although the place where she's heading there isn't one of the high-end suites, but instead almost endless looking maze of small cubicle-like flats in an endless array that looks identical from one another. These are corporate apartments that Requiem is getting probably as a part of her pay or something, but clearly a better area, but not maybe a better apartment. So you walk down the corridor, and what sort of people do you see when walking down here? What are the other occupants like?
Everyone works for some sort of corporation. I think there's a lot of tech workers like me. I imagine a lot of them don't really talk to each other. They kind of just pass each other on the hallway. They might nod. Everyone sort of scurries into their own apartment, which look identical in sort of the what's it called? The blueprints of each flat are identical. You have some corporate people live there, sort of very low PA level corporate people will have a flat there. But stay long. If they get promoted, they will get a better flat than this. There's a couple of lower class people like cleaners and things who might, because they need to be near where they work, get a flat here as well. So yeah, everyone's similar-ish background, similar-ish pay, sort of slightly better than the lowest worker, somewhere sort of mid, not earning super well, but earning a bit more than bit more than minimum wage. Let's say that.
Yeah. You have a monthly wage, which is probably the indicator of wealth here. So you're not a gig worker. You're working for one of the corps, and for that you have a apartment quite nearby from where the actual corporation headquarters are. A couple of people, maybe a group of 3 from a rival company, walk past you, and one of them nods, just like you've seen them a few times over like similar situations or similar circumstances, and they're sort of a friendly type. They just nod to you and continue whatever they were doing. You open a door, and a cat also greets you.
Yes.
What do they look like?
My cat looks robotic. There's been no effort to make them look real. They're, shiny wires, but acts like a cat. That is my cat. My companion. It's small. I like to imagine the flats they look well made. They look quite sleek, but they're probably not they're not the best quality, but they look like they're good quality.
Yeah.
Flats. I have a big gaming rig in the corner, which takes up most of sort of my living room, kitchen area, and then the corner where the bed is. But yeah, she would take off the corporate uniform. Firstly, I think even though it's the right size and fits her, she just looks awkward in the corporate uniform. It's just it just somehow just doesn't sit well on her. She's somewhere vaguely in between 20 and 40. You can't really tell. She has sort of a choppy, uneven haircut, very severe cut hair, which is sort of blue and green. And if you look very closely, you'll see blonde roots. And she wears very sort of a lot of brightly colored eyeshadow. But she's quite she doesn't hold herself with a lot of confidence. She's quite inward, quite shy. When her neighbor nodded at her and kind of sort of tried to nod back and somehow made that awkward as well. And yeah, that is Requiem 13.
Yeah. And I assume that you, after getting out of your uniform, you slouch down on your gaming rig and fire up a game.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
That would be her.
Okay, so yeah. So we actually recorded a session and played it, but the recording got corrupted, so you don't get to enjoy the fact that we have gone through a mission with these two. And after each mission, there is slight bookkeeping that we'll go through now. First of all, if either one of you has more than one expense on your account from the mission, it's on the top.
I only have one. I have one expense.
I believe I have 0.
Now let's see. Okay, there's interesting. I'll have to check the expense, but yeah, 0 sounds about right. So no extra stress for overshooting the mission budget. You were well within parameters. That's always good. Next, if the mission was a successful one, which it was, the corporation, which is me, gets +1 profit. So your profit is the profit from your team is now 2, and you can all clear your expenses. You have a brand new expense account to use on your next mission.
Ooh. So expenses go to 0.
Expenses go to 0. If you had harm or were down or out, neither of these apply to you. You went through without a scratch. Now, if you have stress, which you both do, you have an option. Let's start with Requiem 13 because your number is lower. You're 13 and Nova is 20. So this is easy way to say who we look at first. So if you have stress, you can choose one of the following. Yes. You can roll a die, and if the result is less than your stress, then you get a trauma. If you don't want to roll a die, you can just skip to buying new cyberware, and just like this was very traumatizing mission. I'll have to be better next time, so I'll upgrade myself. And you get a new piece of cyberware, and you don't need to roll the dice. You have 6 stress, right?
Yes. So
the
what
chance of getting a trauma is a bit high.
Yeah, it's kind of 50-50.
Yeah.
Almost. What's the con of having more cyberware?
Well, they cost more, and eventually you'll end up being in a debt spiral, you'll end up in a bad place. But then again, trauma is the same. So there's like, do you want a certain cyberware which also helps you on missions, but leads to an retirement because you're out of money, or do you want to roll the dice?
Since I am untraumatized,
Yes.
I'm gonna roll the dice.
Wonderful. Give me
let's
one
go with that.
D12.
Ooh. So please, come on. That was a 4.
Wonderful. That means that you are actually traumatized by what happened
Yep.
in the last mission. So, what there?
One trauma.
Yeah, one trauma, and this is something that is. There's a bunch of lines down the character sheet. Write down one thing that haunts you from what happened.
Okay.
Just
I'm
it
trying
can
to
be
remember
one yeah, it can be one, like, it can be a moment that something bad happened, or it can be a moment that just stuck with you. It's something that your character will constantly think about, or it will come up, and if something in the game happens that relates to what you've written down, then your state goes up because you re-encountered something that's put a bit of trauma on you.
I'm gonna put the fact that we were chased. That was traumatizing. She's haunted by the fact. Yeah, she's gonna be haunted by being chased.
Yep.
And hunted down.
And Winnie, you actually have just one stress, right?
Yes, 1.
Yeah. So you have to roll under a 1 if you want to roll
Oh.
to get the trauma. So I think you're going to be good.
Okay.
And now clear all stress, both of you.
All right.
Then clear all marked cyberware and equipment. You have a full range of them to use in the next mission.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Yeah. And then would be a check to see how your cyberware is going, how much in depth are you from them, but since you only have 1, you don't have to roll again. And the next step is if there is more than 2 trauma, 2 or more trauma. So we're done with the downtime bookkeeping phase. So what happened is, Requiem, you are a bit troubled by the chasing, and it comes back again and again. Like you probably have to deal with it at some point, but now it wasn't something you were prepared for.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at Murha Corporation's headquarters, there is an evening meeting going on. Bravo, you have been summoned to some middle management's office. You don't know really that much. There's a meeting going on inside. You are waiting in a lobby. There are very uncomfortable red fox leather chairs that you're sitting on. They squeak a bit when you move on them. And sort of Muzak is playing on the background, like just so that you notice it, but it's not really obtrusive. Besides you, there is one fake plant in this waiting room. You don't know much about this Mikael Starr, who is the middle management you've come to see, but you heard that he threw his aide out of a moving car, a flying car, and they are in a hospital, the former aide. You're wearing your corporate uniform, looking like you should. What does it look like when it dawns on you that you should have been called in like 15 minutes ago and nothing's happened? Your appointment is running late. What does Bravo look like?
Bravo is sitting with a straight back and with a confident smile, trying to keep up a calm appearance, assessing the feeling, the surrounding, what's the vibe, and although his concern is growing, he is thinking that it's within expectations that sometimes things just drag out. So he'll keep up his slightly laid back appearance and position where he's sitting, but keeping his eyes out. Is he like sitting right outside the door of the, or is it like
you can actually you can choose. There's like 3 available benches. One is right next to the door you're heading into, and then there's like one on the opposite side of the waiting room, and then there's one on one side of the room, maybe next
opposite
to the bathroom.
side, so he'd have visibility into the room if the door opens or closes.
Yeah. Well, the door opens and mid-level executive walks into the waiting room and greets you there. Well, he is very well dressed is the first thing you notice. For a mid-level management type, he's wearing a mighty fine suit. The next thing you notice is that he is actually using a facial filter, so your wire is translating the features of his face to look a bit better than they probably actually are. So all blemishes are gone, and he has a perfect Pepsodent smile. He nods to you, Mr. Tree.
He looks around. Sorry, I'm Mr. OG Hunter. Who are you?
Yes, Tree.
Looking for?
Come in.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, come in.
Mm.
I'm Michael Starr. I'm one of the project managers here. You may have heard of me. He waits expectantly for you.
Of course. I'm glad to find new opportunities. So
good, because I am in a need of a new person in my team. I have a slight confidence issue with my current staff, so I'm hiring outsiders. And I hear you come well recommended. And he looks at something through his wire.
Well, thank you.
Probably going through
I'm flattered.
your CV. Yes, you should be. I'm starting up a bit of a internal security sweep, and we're in need of a... Well, he sends you the files of 2 people. Requiem 13 and Nova 20. These seem to be... One seems to be some sort of technical type, and one could probably be described as a bruiser, a bouncer maybe. So they are sort of specialists. So these 2 need someone who can possibly manage things through talking, and I hear you're good at that.
Yes. Smoothing out the things that the other corners doesn't cover. That's within mine.
Yeah, good. So if you could sign this, and he throws you a non-disclosure agreement.
Yes.
Yeah,
is it in a physical form, or is it like
through the wire? You get a file
through the wire,
and
so he just skims through. Nice.
Very standard contract.
Nice.
You probably
Dude.
signed a few of these over your career.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So since you have now signed an NDA, there was an attempt on my life today, and because of that, the person I thought I could trust the most is now in a hospital. So, I am in need of someone outside my own staff to help me keep my projects afloat. I don't know how much of my current staff is compromised, if any, but I don't want to take the risk when it comes to security or let's say violence. I'll set up a meeting with these two other people for tomorrow, but for today, I would like to congratulate you. And there's been this like constant smile on his face when you've been looking through the wire, like, but now he actually smiles. There's something going on, like the filter is making him look like he's smiling all the time, even though he's been very serious and his tone has been dead serious. But now he's smiling, and welcome aboard. And this actually affords you quite a raise from what you were earning earlier. So I fully recommend you go enjoy the night, and I hope to see you in the morning. The first thing in the morning, actually, the briefing is at 6 a.m. And as he says that both Requiem and Nova, you receive a message that there's a meeting scheduled for 6 a.m. at the corporate headquarters. Yeah.
Rise and shine.
And then, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's some more formalities for Bravo 3, and then you are escorted first through HR to file some more paperwork, and then you are sort of let out for the day. Where does Bravo 3 head when they are not working? What sort of a district?
He's living in one of the districts that's not quite completed. It's one of those fairly densely populated, partially by the people who are kind of working and not working on the close by unfinished sections, but also a lot of people who are like have fallen between the cracks, like more than average. So there are on one hand there are the people who are like working and building things. Then there are also various office workers and large families, and then on the other hand there are also scrappers and other people who are like just doing whatever to get by. But the buildings nearby are mostly finished, but there are also those who are already in a state of disrepair. One of the close by places where people often gather is the crack. It's a fairly large crack in one of the buildings that people keep doing murals and colorings around, and then Corpo sweeps in and wipes it clean, and then the next day again the kids start coloring in,
Cleaning it up again.
yeah. It's one of those small light spots, or like of a bit life in the place that's kind of different from the rest, but it's still like there are much people coming and going, and people share larger groups of people share like singular units where they live.
Yeah. As you walk away from the public transport, the tube, everything is looking wonderful, and like the clock chimes. It's now past your allotted work time, so the enhancements on your eyes go blip. Basically just like the subscription is for your work days only. So during your nights your eyes are very normal unless you pay an extra fee, and the feeling of just like everything going down a notch. The sky is not so vivid as it was. There is like clear pollution in the air that you didn't see before because like your eyes are just filtering everything to look a bit nicer, and you're seeing in other spectrums as well. And everything just goes a bit damper. There's a group of kids playing just some silly game, throwing things at people, and then running away. Someone throws a beer can at you, and then the kids laugh and run away, and probably do that again, and some person then scolds the kids in like very stern words not to anger the corpos, because you're wearing a corporate uniform. You're one of the like elite from
Grams,
their perspective.
it's fine. Let kid be kids, right? It's
yeah. Hi, I didn't see it was you.
Yeah, you know,
Ah.
he's very straightforward and customer smile kind of posture. He like lets it relaxes down a bit, and he's maybe now more approachable to the average person. Yeah, it's one of those days. How's the corner? How's the crack? Anything since last few days?
Yeah, it's still up. I wonder when they're coming. Tomorrow,
Oh
maybe.
yeah,
Yeah,
no.
it's looking good. I really like the big rose pattern that's going up.
Oh, they
I
have
can
roses
barely see the
this time.
top.
Nice. Oh, yeah. That's right.
It's painted very like high up. They probably had a flying car to like stand on when painting,
I
because
hope they
that's
used iron oxide and not some of those even more toxic this time. Like, remember that one time everyone was like spraying from both ends. Those were some horrible colors. Yeah, that was toxic. Damn. Oh yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, hey, good seeing you. Are you coming to the feast tomorrow?
Yeah, it probably depend. Actually, I can't promise anything. You know, Corpo they did some revamps, and I'm doing something completely different tomorrow. So it's like I'm going in early tomorrow, and I have no idea how they will turn out. So don't expect me. But if I get my ass out of the building early enough, I'll try to swing by. You know how it is. But hey, I did get a raise, so I will
If you're
bring
coming,
some.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
Bring some good
good
stuff.
Yeah, I will. Anyway, I'm heading home.
You continue down towards your building. 13. You are immersed in the game.
Yep.
And I have to ask what the game is like. It's multiplayer. That
Yep.
much I know, but what's the theme?
It's very much like something similar to like World of Warcraft, but it has a space theme. So she's got her team members. They're on a mission. It's time. There's a raid, whatever. But yeah, that is definitely
Yeah.
what she's into, what she's playing now. With
Yeah. You just got a small raise. Are you paying for the features that you normally would watch ads for?
how much are the new features? That's the thing.
Well, they're probably mostly quality of life stuff, but it's like
Anything gaming related, I think she would put more money into her
Yeah.
gaming. She'd get a nice upgrade on her kit, or a nice upgrade in the game. Yeah, she would.
Yeah, it's in the game. There's some new features that are behind a paywall,
Yeah.
or you have to watch a couple of adverts to get them each time. So if you pay, it's easier. And now you have the money. So like just a couple of credits
Yeah.
that way, and suddenly you don't have to spend ages watching a video about a new product you probably won't ever get.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Cushing.
Yeah. It's been a while since you've done that. Those aren't essential things, so it's like it's been a bit of a balancing act before, like what to pay for. But now you actually have money, so it's surprisingly easy. And
I think she'd feel
feels
slightly
nice.
guilty. She'd do it and then feel slightly guilty because she knows maybe some of the people she's playing with can't afford it. So she'd feel a bit,
Yeah,
a bit guilty.
Yeah, you see them. Yeah, you see them pause as they watch the videos and like wait. You ask everyone to wait for the ads to end, and you're just like, okay, I can start already. Yeah. Is it more a personal shooter or like something with space stuff? Spaceships.
It has a bit of both. So there's you'll do spaceship runs and then you'll do like explore the planet things. So both.
Cool. Yeah. So and today's raid night.
Yeah.
The guild leader Foxman is stern as usual, shouting out orders and like making sure everyone stays in their spot. How are you? Are you distracted? Are you playing at 100%? Are you putting too much effort into this?
I'm trying to not think about the first mission. So definitely trying to immerse myself into what we're doing to the point where I'm aware it's a 6 a.m. meeting. I see the time and I go, she won't sleep much. She'll sleep maybe 3 hours because she just doesn't want to think about it. She'll deal with it tomorrow. That's how she's going with this.
Yeah. Give me a die roll.
Just one?
1D, 3D 12. And you said you're pretty driven, so that's the biggest of those.
9.
A 9. Well, that's success with effort probably, because you're just like you're spending the night.
Yeah.
You're going full on to morning instead of being reasonable and going to bed early. So you're getting a few hours of sleep and wake up very tired. But the raid is a success, and you actually get some loot. on the better end, something that you actually need in the game. You've been after this for maybe 2 weeks to get something like this, so it's a good feeling. And
Yeah.
once you're done with that, it's like, okay, now I can go to bed. And you look at the time, and it's 3 o'clock, or maybe
Yeah.
2 o'clock because you have a 6 a.m. meeting. Noah, your doorbell rings.
What's that? I go and open the door, or check. I actually go and check the eye hole.
Yeah, there's a couple of your friends there. You now that you're looking at them, you remember that you invited them over for like this evening.
Oh, that was today.
One of them has some food with them, and the other one, what looks like a bottle of cheap wine.
Well, they've got wine. At least there's that. I unlock the several padlocks on the door and open it. Hey guys.
Yeah. Hi. There's Pool and there's Stone. Stone is a big guy, one that you've gone to the gym a lot, and Pool is well, they're not really together, but they're together. So you know that a younger, more lean athlete guy as well, maybe 18. Stone is 25, something like that. And both of them come from the academic background, which is a bit strange in these parts, but like hey, we're here. And they look around and see that you haven't prepared anything at all.
Shit, guys, I'm sorry. I had work today. It was kind of a doozy. I completely forgot. Not saying we should rain check. Please come in. Let's destroy that bottle of wine at least. But sorry, I just completely spaced on this whole thing.
Well, that happens. Work, you say? Really that bad?
Well, we can talk about it once we open the wine. How about we agree to that?
Okay. Stone walks to the kitchen and with the precision of a person who's been here many times drinking wine, puts his hand in the middle of some stuff and just produces out a corkscrew and opens the wine. Do you have wine glasses, or is it just like round? The bottle goes round.
I say I probably have like some mismatched wine glasses. A couple from here, a couple from there, gift from someone, that kind of thing. But yeah, some kind of.
Yeah, the bottle opens and you. Where do you sit in your flat? Where's the place to drink wine?
Yeah, I would say that there's kind of a small den-ish area. There's maybe a small sofa and a couple of kind of those cubes that you can turn into mattresses that you can use as kind of stools. Can just throw a couple of those there, and there's a tiny round table in the middle, just barely enough room for a bottle of wine and some glasses.
Yeah. You gather around your den and Pool, who usually is quite silent and just like lets the more experienced people talk, starts ranting that he just lost a gig. Well, actually, he lost his whole, like, what he's been doing. He got a bombing review at the delivery app, and now he's not getting any gigs at all. It's been like 2 days and he hasn't received a single assignment, so he has to figure out something else to do.
Well, I know, Paul, your whole stance on the Merc gig. I know what it is. You're very anti all that, but do remember that it's keeping a roof on my head. So if you're ever wondering, sort of. changing.
Go Corpo?
Yeah, well, you make it sound so dirty. But
Well, it's dirty.
yeah,
Like what have we been talking about all these
I
years?
know.
It's like capitalism is bad, and you there, you're wearing the suit.
I know, and that's why Sebastian left me. So still he hasn't answered my texts. He hasn't answered my calls. Have you seen him, by the way, at all?
They look a bit awkward about it. And then Stone goes, "Yeah, I saw him the other day.
Cool.
Mm,
Okay.
I don't think he's really in a good place.
Mm.
You should go and talk with him instead of trying to send him messages. I think he's been off the wire for a while now, just like off the grid completely.
Oh wow.
And he's not looking good.
Well,
I know that you have like tried to reach him, but really tried to reach him, go and talk to him.
I know.
You know how he is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of think about it sometimes, but then work comes up, and then I try to write, and then I try to stream, and then it's a matter of timing, I think. It just never seems to. I'll tell you what. I'll go and visit him tomorrow after whatever. Oh yeah, I didn't probably tell you guys. I have kind of an early morning tomorrow, so if we're gonna drink this wine, we better get started and kind of keep it, civilized. But I'll go and talk to him after work tomorrow.
Okay,
Provided
you
I'm
should
still alive.
totally do that. Yeah, like I don't really understand why you're risking your life for a stupid corporation. We should be revolting. We should be like there should be banners on the street and
Yeah.
like instead of working for the man, you should be like, here I just bought this book, and he produces like image on the wire of some new very like trendy book about starting a revolution and fighting against corporations. It's one of Murha's bestsellers at the moment.
Yeah.
You really should read this.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what that's gonna change for me, personally, but hey, thanks. I mean, it's the thought that counts, right?
Bravo. You get home. What does home look like once you're inside?
I'm greeted by a good amount of varied voices and sounds coming from inside. Bravo is sharing his or the unit he's living in is with family, extended family, and the occasional family friend. And right up, some of his cousins runs up to him and tries to get him if he has anything to give them, and he gently shoos them away. And hey, I haven't got this off myself. I need to. I'll be just back with you. Tell Graham that I might have some good coming in the near. And then he like scoots like goes around them and then goes to the stairs. And under the stairs there is the small closet that's his, and he takes off his very classic kind of key, nothing electronic, it's just a padlock, and opens it. And when he opens it, it reveals his very trampy workshop where he has his small trinkets and things he's been working on in his crafts, those small trinkets, odds and ends he's crafting, and he's actually under the suit he's wearing one of those antique Casio digi watches, and he takes off his as he stands there in the hall, he takes off his corpo suit and then puts in its own spot and puts on a t-shirt, and it's his tattoo is much more visible. He keeps it much covered when he's in his suit, and he quickly locks it up and then goes to upstairs to greet his gran, and she's surprisingly alive for her age, and of course gathered by the children, by grandchildren and others, and then he gives her a hug and whispers to her that he just got a raise, so he might get in some more bread for the family in the near future. But
yeah, she hugs you back and blesses you 10 times over and tells how you're a wonderful grandson and like you deserve everything good that comes your way, and
don't say
this
that,
is something
like,
that
tomorrow I heard from him, from the neighbor, about the tomorrow. I'm not sure I have time to, it's getting
it's all
new, so I'm trying to get time to get back.
Yes, it's okay if you don't come. I'll snatch something for you. I'll get a nice bread and some chili in a bowl. If you
Thanks.
don't come, I'll make sure. I'll make sure. You're a wonderful son to my own, and it's good that you're finally getting ahead in the world, and maybe through you we can all get ahead.
Yeah, since Sam,
she has
yeah,
yeah
he just says since Sam, and then he kind of just yeah you know.
you know that while she is quite lively for her age, she has like a replacement hip and some like move like, well, she has cyber legs because like that's the way things are. Things get replaced instead of fixed. So if you have some problems with your legs, they get replaced. And you know that she's actually been a bit annoyed that she can move so slowly because the legs are at the like minimum setting.
Yeah. We can't afford a better subscription. Yeah.
So she doesn't say it, she would never say it, but there's this like, there's a wish that she has that maybe that if you get a good enough place in the world, you could maybe get her a better subscription at some point, and she could move more freely. She walks really slowly around the apartment. Her hands go like this, but her legs are just lagging behind. They're just minimal movement for a person. Maybe one day. The next day comes for each and every one of you. Bravo is probably the best slept of you all. You had a good night sleep, and you had good food. 20, you don't really have a hangover. It's just one bottle of wine. and it didn't go that late. So you're sort of okay. 13, I think you are the worst off.
Yep.
Do you? Well, the big question is, what's the plan on staying sharp and awake for the day? Do you go and grab some energy drinks or something?
Oh yeah, definitely whatever's the best, strongest gamer energy drink.
Yep.
And if she has it, I imagine she has like a dispenser, like she's bought like whatever is this world's equivalent to having cupboards just absolutely full of Red Bull. She had maybe it's a dispenser or whatever,
Yeah,
but she has
you
that.
have a
That's what she runs on.
yeah, you have a subscription for that, so you get a couple of them each day delivered straight to your cupboards. So you open up a cupboard, and there, besides the place where the deliveries are handled, there is in front of them couple of very strong energy drinks. Have you ordered extra strong for today or just the regular?
I think she'll just have 2 regular ones.
Yep.
Because but now is the time to regret her decision last night. So she'll just shotgun 2. Maybe she arrives holding one in very unprofessionally into the office.
Yeah, the meeting room that's been arranged to you is on one of the lower corporate levels. It's not anywhere like it's not in the real building, so to say. It's a bit out of the way. Like I think maybe 13 you've been in one of these before, because this is where like outsourced freelancers are handled in like it's the bottom of the rung. So you all arrive around 6. How punctual are you?
Bravo is early.
Yep.
Requiem will arrive like 2 minutes to that. She's cut it. She's cut it fine, but she just makes it.
Yeah, I'd sort of be in the same camp that just on time, sort of just catching the tube in time.
Yeah. The two of you meet in the hallway leading to the meeting room. You sort of knew that each other was coming because of the invitation, but like this is a visual confirmation. The meeting room is sized for 4 people, and there is an empty room next to it that you walk through to get there. Bravo is waiting, and Mr. Starr, who is the 4th person in this meeting, is nowhere to be seen.
Hi.
Oh, morning.
Yeah.
Had a long night? You look a little worse for wear.
I went to bed a bit too late. Couldn't really sleep.
Okay.
You?
Okay, I had a couple of friends over, but nothing too major. Looking forward to the job?
I hope there's less explosions this time.
Yeah, me too.
Explosions.
Oh,
Never mind. Yeah.
Hi. I think you heard. I suppose I'm going to beef up the ranks and get your team slightly bigger. So I don't know. Am I going to be the third wheel, or is this gonna be a good team? What do you say?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a
We might be a tricycle.
excessive
Then
smell.
you'd fit right in.
All right.
Hi. I'm.
Yeah, this fellow seems friendly. There's something about him that's just like naturally friendly. So it's not like an awkward thing to see him, and
Requiem is awkward
he's
with
sort of-
everyone, so she's
Yes.
awkward.
that's true.
Yeah.
But as said, Mikael isn't anywhere to be seen,
Yeah.
so there's 4 spots on the table. 3 is sitting on one of them, and yeah, you
Did
you
he
sit
say he's
down.
gonna-
There's
Did he say he was gonna remote in, or was he gonna be on place actual? Any idea?
you have no idea.
It just said 6, which I
Yeah.
mean,
As long as
have
we're
been-
here, then
I mean,
Yeah. The monitor in the room comes to life, and Mr. Starr, wearing what appears to be what bathrobe with corporate colors, appears on it, and you see a toothbrush leave his like the screen,
mhm.
and you, hello.
morning, sir.
Morning.
Morning.
Nice to see you all this early in the morning. I would love to be there in person, but unfortunately I can't. I am currently, well, let's say
We understand the
preoccupied.
security measures and
Of
things.
course, sir.
Yes, exactly those. I would like for you 3 to meet up, discuss things, and get to know each other. And while you're at it, I have some. Well, I'll just send the files, and you see him making the gesture of sending files, and all of you receive. Well, it's 3 files. It's very like brief. Apparently, someone has been bootlegging one of Mr. Starr's products, and it's, well, they're making a sizable sum of money out of that. So that's like what you get from the brief in like 2 seconds, and then there's details and like information about the product and information about the person. But if you could take care of this today, I'd really appreciate it. It's a small thing, but it's a thorn on my side. Thank you. And he shuts the connection.
Great.
What does he mean by take care? Like,
Sounds like a hit job to me. Let's check the deets and
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna shut down a bootlegging operation, and let's see. Does it say if it's reverse engineered or corporate? Oh yeah, you said talking about explosions last time. Like, I'm trying to get a baseline of what you guys been up to, and like calibrate and see what kind of troubleshooting paradigms we're going for.
have you been added to the same NDA? Are we allowed to discuss the previous mission with this new guy? No offense, and I turn to 3.
Let's see. I mean, I don't know. I have an NDA on the standard one, so we're going to work as a team. I assume Mr. Starr created the team starting from you two like super recently.
yesterday.
Okay, yesterday. So you two didn't know each other from before. You were taken in from outside. So we are like
Nope.
right. So he took in the team of outsiders with qualifications to do the things in a different way. Yeah, I can't read your NDAs, of course, but it sounds like you probably have. It's okay to drop on what you did.
It sounds like a
Basically.
need to know
Yeah.
thing, and this seems
Mhm,
need to know
yeah.
to you.
Yeah, you actually have in your NDA, like you aren't individuals, you're a team. So it's like
Okay.
there's no distinction between one of you knowing and all of you knowing something.
All right. So, 13, you want to fill him in, or shall I?
You're probably better than I am at that.
Oh, well, sure. I kind of sense this this apprehension, and I probably would have sat next to 3 just to sort of give 13 the opportunity to be a little bit further from him. It's kind of like I'm getting the sense that you're a little bit uneasy with this new fella. Anyway, so 3 was it? All right. So what the last mission was that we were escorting Mr. Starr to let's just come out with it, a shady neighborhood in the north, and we
Mhm.
were attacked by someone who wanted to kidnap Mr. Starr for his spine. Apparently, they wanted to extract
Oh,
his
damn.
spine, and we were locked on the
And
missile.
then his bodyguard kind of double crossed him, so he
Oof.
And I,
kind of
yeah,
didn't survive.
Is the bodyguard the same guy he threw out of a window or something?
Well,
Personal assistant thing?
I kind
that
of,
was him.
yeah.
That wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah, that was him.
I'm kind of about
Oh,
to interrupt him and say that it was me who kicked him out,
Yeah.
but then I'm like, oh, no, corporate interests. Yeah, you want to paint him as the good guy.
I think 13 would just say it because she doesn't.
Okay, yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
get
yeah.
it. She's like, yeah. She'd be like, it was 20. 23.
I kind of
about
look
the win."
around, just like, don't undermine the corpo's official
Yeah,
stance.
but it's what really happened. Oh,
Yeah, well, okay, just as long as it doesn't leave this room, I'd rather not,
yeah, of course.
you know, be terminated in more ways
Yeah,
than
yeah.
one.
Oh,
Alright.
he fell out of the car.
Sure.
Better?
Yeah, let's go with that. But anyway, it was yeah, we were targeted with a surface air missile. Then
Damn.
as we landed in the designated area, turns out there weren't the actual guards or security forces that were supposed to be there weren't there, and there was just a group of some kind of anarchists, terrorists, whatever you want to call them, some group
Guys with guns,
guys with
big
guns,
guns.
basically. Yeah.
but not like what. Go on.
Aggressors.
Aggressors, yeah, let's go with
Yeah.
that. Not the guys they were supposed to be.
Uh,
And I took a couple of them out. We got a bit of information, and then thanks to 13's amazing repair skills with the vehicle, which we had already crashed somewhat, a little bit, we managed to extract Mr. Starr out of the situation.
Right.
That's about the long and short of it.
Did he ever tell you about what the meeting was about? I assume it was connected to this getting solved, this bootlegging thing, or is this completely separate?
he didn't tell us.
Huh. Okay, so not need to know. Alrighty. I guess we'll just have to get on with what we know. So this bootlegging product thing, let's see, does it say if it's a reverse engineer or if it just goes corpo espionage or what kind of product this is? This could be lead to.
Yeah, it looks like the few details that you have is an approximate location, which is nice. The area where this is sold. Then the person who is one Dr. Steel Eye, who is the person selling this product, and then that the product seems to be a bootlegged version of what appears to be one of the regiment that you all are actually taking, which is a drug that keeps the cyber parts from the body from rejecting the cyber parts. So it seems that it's operation that's creating an alternative for the drug that keeps you alive and well with cyber parts.
All right. Cyber immunosuppressant. All right.
Yep.
That's classic.
So, 3, what's your thing? What's your skill set?
Well, I'm there to give the talk when needed, and what I'm seeing, you are the brain, and you are the right?
You kind of see this 20. He's kind of he's a more of a tall guy, and that's kind of his imposing presence. Not so much like massive muscles, and he kind of looks at his shoulders and goes, "Sure, why not?"
Mhm. Well, you did say something about
Wait,
taking
yeah,
out
he's
a few
sort
guys,
of
so
he's sort of, and then she does like a gun
The shooty
gun
bang
action,
bang.
and I'm more
yeah,
of the, you know,
that's what I said, more or less.
computers. Yeah,
But
kind
yeah, of course. And then you get always more with a kind word and a gun than just with a kind word. And then he like pats his side, like yeah, he has something small to back him up as well. But yeah, and usually when I take a closer look at folks and the situation, I have the extra to get a good eye on the situation.
Yeah, it's
So
very
a range of
it's very clear that 3 has cybernetic eyes. Now that you look, like it's very clear. They're quite good quality, actually. It wasn't like when he was in the room and you were just chatting, you didn't really pay too much attention to them. But now that you know, it's impossible to miss. Like they're not blinking. There's something there. Like it's unnerving now that you know.
Nice optical work, by the way.
yeah. I'm trying to keep them natural to somewhat, but it's a trade-off.
I mean,
I need to update my subscription on the blinking frequency because it's been acting up recently, and it's like, I mean, you know how it is. It's if it's slightly off, then you see it, and it's kind of getting in the way of my work.
I mean, a couple of
But
meters away, it's fine.
yeah, that is. I'm thinking about using extra shields just to like give off the keep it less obvious, but you know how it is. All right. So anyway, let's see you ripped over the files. And either of you heard of Dr. Steel Eye?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Doesn't ring a bell. Basically, go ahead.
Can I ask a question? Apart from the cybernetic eyes, what does 3 look like?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right.
Dramatically heard. So
Yeah.
I'm curious.
He has black hair, and he uses like clearly some hair product to keep it clean, and he's
Slicked
clean
back.
shaved. What?
Is it slicked back?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
slick back. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Slick back, clean shaved. At times when he was gesturing, you can see a small glimpse of a tattoo from under the corpo suit. But otherwise, he's and his smile is the kind of service industry smile, like customer smile, and keeping a fairly aloof but mood, so to say. But yeah, that's
Yep.
that's more or less it.
Yeah. About Dr. Steel Eye, it's basically something that you can try and find out just like online, basically. Just go and find out. And I think it's because he is actually no, sorry, my Finnish is getting to me. She is actually an actual doctor, like licensed practitioner and a chemist. So it's like there's a lot of official data about her.
Mm.
So 45 years old, born actually quite near here, not Dawn City. But Dawn City born, since Dawn City wasn't in existence 45 years ago, but in the same region. So a local woman apparently was working for Murha. So this might not actually be a bootleg, but just straight up corporate espionage or something like that. And she was fired a few years ago. Or left the company. That's not something that's really apparent from the public record. And she's been running a health clinic, like a public health clinic, down on the lower levels of actually one of those very similar areas to where 3 lives, where the area is not fully complete, but more a combination of slums and half-built areas. Her actual address is not publicly available.
13's gonna do a more thorough check. So she's
13. Are you good at OSINT? Open source intelligence?
Of course, in my sleep.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we don't call it that, but sure.
Oh yeah. You know, that's what my uncle always used to call it.
Yeah. So going through a bit deeper and figuring out what you can get without hopefully alerting him. Her. Sorry, my Finnish is getting to me.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. Yeah, getting without alerting her. So I'd say that's a roll. So since this is start of the mission, we are all relaxed and the situation is very clear. So 3d12 and keep the lowest.
Okay.
Lowest.
That's a 1.
Yeah. A very relaxed search isn't going to get you more info than that. Probably going and maybe hacking some emails or something like that could do it, which would allow you to re-roll, but it would make the situation a bit more dangerous because she could find out, or you could just let it be.
I think she would feel pressure to show off a bit, so I think she would do some further hacking. This might be the worst thing to do, but we're going for it. roll again.
Yeah. Also, you could just push your own stress level up a bit and make your state prepared, which puts you in a more heightened state instead of making the situation more dangerous.
Let me have a look. We're just at the beginning of the mission, so I don't want to add stress, seeing as I got very stressed.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just reroll.
Yep. Reroll, and it's now standard.
So the lowest one?
Now the lowest one since you're relaxed.
5.
Yeah, that's still failure, but it's 1 away from being a success. So if you tick your equipment, then that turns into a success.
Let's take my equipment then.
Yeah, your own
Cortex.
No, equipment, not cyberware.
Okay, sorry.
Equipment's down there,
Yep.
and then those should actually be cleared. So you
Software.
can use your own personal equipment or something. Your personal equipment doesn't cost you money, but if you use software, then it costs money. So you have a Murhamies DigiHack board that you can check for free.
Let's check that one.
Yeah. Okay, so it is just let me check how that is. Personal equipment. Where is my personal equipment? Oh, why can't I find anything today? Yeah, you can mark it without taking any stress or expense. So you whip out your hacking tool. What does it look like? What's it's a physical thing?
It's a physical thing. It's rolled up, so it's in a old-fashioned scroll case. So she undoes it and then she opens it up, and it's very flexible. Very flexible Pyrex or something, and it rolls out into a small square which looks a bit like an iPad, and then she starts pressing buttons on it. Buttons sort of appear and change as she interacts with it. But yeah, it looks like clear plastic that's rolled up until she unrolls it.
Yeah, this is an expensive piece of hardware. It's not corporate like standard. It's something that clearly comes from like someone's paid good money for this, and
years of savings to get this.
Yeah, and it doesn't take long for you to start finding out details. And one thing, first of all, is that she has like a clinic that's working in the area that you approximated where she's been, and where she had the previous clinic. This one seems to be specialized in like implanting cyberware and making, well, it's basically a repair shop. You go there if you want new cyberware installed. And since it's one of those, it also means that there's probably going to be security there, because a lot of very expensive equipment's going to be there. And somehow she's managed to stay below the radar, so there's no public records of this place existing. That's not really surprising, but there's also no like mentions of disturbances there or anything like that, which sort of sounds to you like she is paying the local cops, because that sort of a place always attracts attention. and usually the wrong kind of attention, which ends up in criminal situations. So she's probably paying the local cops to keep her out of sight. Now, police isn't really that big of an issue. They are underfunded and sort of laughing stock, but they do manage the public records, so they need to be bribed to make something like this go away. So it would seem that the operation is quite well organized. Maybe a bit too well organized for someone who just sort of dropped out of corporate life. Oh, and yeah, she was fired. It's that's one thing that you find out. She was caught posting some data from the corporate net to the public net, and like fired without severance package. So basically, just left out of any sort of compensation whatsoever. And they settled the situation so that she actually owes the corporation quite a lot of money. That's, I think, everything you get out of her at this point. And it takes 13 like mere minutes to come up with all this. It's like that,
Yeah.
and you get files transferred to you about her.
Yeah, she'll just share what she's found onto the wires of 20 and 3.
All
What
right.
kind of data was the leak about?
It was a pharmaceutical, some data about trials of some sort of a medical device is what is being referred to, and there's a lot of like blacked out text.
Yeah.
In the
But
court documents.
Does it seem to be more or less unrelated to the immunosuppressant she's bootlegging?
Looks like it. It's not the same thing.
Okay. All right. So at least seems like she might not be a bleeding heart, because she wasn't like doing drops on the clear web about this thing she's bootlegging. So okay. All right. All right. What kind of vibes do you guys get from this? Like, interesting that she kept under the radar so far.
Seems like she's got
All right.
money, credits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Disgruntled employee goes solo.
Yeah. But like she has depth. She still has depth left to Murha. That's interesting.
Yeah,
like
a quite big amount actually. Like something, if you guys had such debt, you'd be like you wouldn't know what to do with that.
Damn. So I feel like if this is a tight run operation, going into the front door is obviously not the best case. Like if we'd find her neighborhood and like, I don't know, just bump into her and like get lay of the land, like in a different environment, might be putting her off the, you know.
So what, we go hang around in her neighborhood hoping she walks past?
Did we hide in a bush?
Did you? No, I mean, did you manage to find an address for her, like living quarters, or is this
No.
just the?
It doesn't seem like she has a permanent address anywhere.
hiding.
Right.
Seems like she's in hiding, or someone's hiding her.
Or living 24/7 in the clinic wouldn't be impossible either. Oh, it's right. So this is like a general repair shop, getting new stuff fitted. Is there any good sales for like repair or something?
Well, you you have the eye thing that you need getting repaired anyway.
Exactly.
So she could be your person. That could be an in.
Right. Yeah. You know, I had this. I do have this eye thing going on. So like, I could go and get in first look and get this fixed while I'm at it. 2 birds with 1 stone, and then we could look things over. But of course, if I go in there with corpo suit, it's gonna be obvious, or probable. She gets idea why I might be there. So
Yeah, something else than the uniform. So go undercover, see the operation, and what it looks like. Sounds like something that would require a roll and would probably give you more intel on what's going on there.
If he's gonna go in, is there a way for me to try and hack into his eyes so we could see what he sees?
I think I probably should be able to stream.
Yeah, exactly. So you can watch what's going on. Not hear, but see, because 3 hasn't got any ear implants, so you'd only get a visual.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's more than what you'd get from others.
Yeah.
And of course, get stream all the extra data, which is of course also infrared and ultraviolet and the full range. Yeah.
Let's go with a roll. So since it's start of mission, you're relaxed. This is nice and easy. The situation is actually standard because the hacking was such that it had the possibility of alerting someone, so you're not going in to a completely unaware place.
Yeah.
So that would be 3d12 and drop the 2 largest results.
Yeah, so no advantage and relaxed roll.
Yes, unless someone wants to assist in this action somehow by taking 1 point of stress and coming in or just doing something to help the situation.
Wow.
And that seems like a no. So,
I'm trying to think how we can help.
I rolled a 2.
So a 2. 2 would mean that since the situation is standard, that's a failure, and you either fail, you don't get any intel, that's okay. Your state goes up since this is very stressful, or you keep trying, but the situation goes to snafu, which means that people start pulling out guns, and in addition your state goes up, or you get 1 stress. So you're going in. Let's talk about what this looks like. You go in on an intel mission and set up a meeting. The chop shop. It's basically a chop shop. It's some place where there's a table where you can be operated on, and there's a lot of tech everywhere. Dr. Steeleye is the person running this place, but she's not the technician. There is another person here who is running the cybernetic stuff, and she's handling the operations and the medical stuff. There is also a big, almost industrial looking person. They have both their arms are cyberware, and they are not this sleek and beautiful stuff that you see in corpo circles, but more the very practical, like what you'd expect to see in a place that handles big crates where someone has to lift crates with their hands. Practical, ugly, very, very efficient and brutal, and they're clearly the muscle here and making sure that everything goes fine. And you go there, you set up an appointment, and I think that why you aren't getting that good intel is because something about you, like the big guy goes, "You look like a corpo."
Oh.
And yeah, so he's suspicious, which sort of forces you to either back down or make this something that can go well or wrong. Also, you can turn a failure into a success by using your cyberware, which basically means that you tick your sensory system and just say that this succeeds, and then explain how your cyber eyes help you with this situation.
I'll use my cyberware to make this succeed.
Yeah.
Okay, so as
What
he's
does it
on the
look like?
table and he's like as he goes in there, he has his cybernetics and the things on the standard power level, so as not to arouse any suspicions. But at the point when they are actually taking a look at his eyes, of course, because they are doing analysis and things things on it, that's when he powers them off on to max power, and like as he does the looking in all directions, he gets like it goes from looking at the 180p to like 16K
Yeah.
vision of everything. He gets the infrared. He sees like the scrub, the blood splatters from the wall that's only traceable within UV light. He sees like all the small details on prescription bottles, the shoddy handwriting on a note in one corner.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And what you actually see, and this is where the intelligence gathering comes in. When the big guy comes and goes like, this one looks like a corpo, the Dr. Steel Eyes is like, okay, well, he can be a corpo, but he's a paying customer. We'll just let him be in the chair, and I think things will be okay. And you don't appear to be scanning the room, but you're actually doing it. And what you see, first of all, there is an emergency exit that runs below the building. So basically, there's a route out, probably for anyone to run away if someone like you would come here. the second thing is that while the big guy is very, very heavily cybered, the system is actually quite like there's clear weak points there. The system is strapped to his back on an external power source because it's an industrial tech. It's not made for like everyday use. So he has a weak point. And yeah, and in the room that you are not in, you can see through a mirror there is crates of bootlegged cyber immunosuppressant. So this is not a small operation. You would estimate the like street value of that to be something that would easily let Dr. Steel Eyes pay her debt like 3-4 times over. So this is not a minor operation. This is a big one. And you also get your eyes fixed. It's a minor adjustment. She's very good. She just like adjusts your like she says that there's something wrong with your nerve. She's mumbling while she's speaking. She's 45 years old, a bit hunched, looks more like a lab technician than like a doctor, like not very people person, to say the least. And she just says that there's something wrong with your nerve. This might hurt a bit. Please stay still. And you feel an electric shock go through your eye, and then like there's a momentary blindness as your eyes reboot, and once they come back on, they actually function like they should. Yeah, that's much better. So free of charge, but if you want, you can leave a donation.
All right, absolutely. Small donation is, I assume, due.
Any local charity will do.
Right. What's the?
Feel free to put them in any place you feel like would help the most. I would probably give to the homeless shelter, or yes, children's charities, orphanage. That's a good one. But feel free to donate the amount your conscience tells you to.
Thank you.
And she sort of shoos you off and starts discussing you can while you're exiting from Reflections, you can see that she is saying that those were really good eyes, and that it's rare to see something like that here. She's not suspicious, but like it's something that she's noticed that could turn her suspicious further down the road. Like she's admiring your eyes. And Bravo returns with this intel.
Yeah.
The building itself is fairly small. It's one story building, and there's a couple of rooms there. It's connected to the buildings next door, like a lot of these slum areas are. They're just built one next to the other.
Did the streaming thing work out that we talked about earlier?
Yes. Yes. So you all saw this exchange, and also you for a moment saw what 3 sees when he activates his eyes, which is like everything. He sees everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a
Nova.
lot of immunosuppressants right there in those crates.
Yeah, Nova, you've probably seen a similar operation being run when your I think it was spine. You
Yes,
have a spine.
spine.
Yeah, spine implant was put in place. Those aren't really stuff that corporations usually do. It's usually like more lower end chop shops, and this looks like you can't put your finger on it, but there's something off about this. Like this feels weird.
Yeah, something doesn't add up here. This is looking like a ton of fairly low-end suppressants. What's the angle here? Any theories? Hypotheses, rather?
I'm guessing she gives these immunosuppressants, she has a price for them instead of donations. Joy.
Yeah, I mean the chop shop seems to be like the running like the charity and the front, so it's not clear if she's actually bleeding heart or not. But yeah, like she could have paid off her debt, but I think she might be haven't paid off her debt to Murha because it would be raise more suspicion of her suddenly getting more
Yeah.
money. So she's likely doing the standard of paying off the reasonable amount of amount you'd get from not having a good paying job, but
Just the standard payments per month.
yeah, standard payments, 30-year plan or whatever. So yeah, but at least on the security part, we got some. The emergency exit is good to know. The Hulk bulk man, external power source, and okay, if it push comes to shove, we know where to unplug his something.
The external power source, are we looking at something that's really industrial, low-tech, locally manipulated, or is it something that can be hacked remotely?
Like most things, it can't be hacked remotely, and it's one of those that, like, if you get physical, like some sort of a device to the port in it, you could probably hack it, but not without someone going and
Yeah, we
putting
stick a USB.
stick a USB
Yeah.
in the port and
Rip
then
a wire
you could
out.
hack it.
Did it have cameras?
Yeah, but it's low tech.
Did they have
cameras?
security
No.
cameras? No. Okay.
No security cameras.
Well, that's on our side. No cameras.
No tripwires, anything, nothing like in terms of security systems.
Analyzing the data, that you have the stream, you have the like you have a recording of it. There is some rudimentary security systems, probably some sort of a, like, well, in case of fire, there's
like an alarm.
some sort of foam
Oh.
yeah, like foam bombs to go off. This is electric shock, so no water. There is also what appears to be a single small caliber turret hidden away. It's not something that you would notice immediately, but analyzing the data, it comes clear that there's a small turret, probably lethal, but like it's not the worst thing you've seen. You've been shot at with a land-to-air missile, so it's a bit different. It's not well defended. It's clearly like that's the turret is there for some, like, extra backup
Yeah, and there's
instead of being like a primary. Yeah.
right, and
Mm.
there's like a ton of blind spots. I'm assuming like it's just everywhere in terms of their defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's a couple of places where the turret can actually shoot at, and that's it. It's not designed to be a fort. It's actually like if that's in gang territory, how on earth is that going to last more than a day?
Mm-hmm.
Is the
Okay,
question.
yeah. So it's like on par within the modern world having a shotgun under a gas station till.
Yeah.
That's kind of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the defense value of a small turret like that.
All right.
Yeah.
So
You are looking at a shop, a chop shop. This has actually taken you about half a day. It's getting closer to
Mhm.
lunch hour, and the question is, are you ordering in or going for a lunch? Takeout or
It
a restaurant?
Yeah, I kind of trying to work in some suggestion that's close to where Sebastian lives, just so I can sort of drive
Oh,
by his
ah,
apartment or something and see, kind of like peek in the window, see if he's there, if he's with someone, that kind of thing.
yeah. So a
yeah,
restaurant it is.
Restaurant it is.
yeah, yeah. Requiem's easy.
Yeah,
We'll go
I'm not a big fan
where
of
these two go.
stakeout takeout. This is much better. I like it.
Yeah, you head to get some lunch, and we are ending our stream for today here. Thank you, and I hope to see everyone next time.